Anbu Satyan sir, good morning, good evening. Hello. Anbu Satyan sir.
Hello, sir. Is it audible? Hello.
Yeah.
Is it
Good
audible?
evening, sir. Welcome.
Hello. Sir, is it audible now? Hello. Am I audible? Sir?
Hello. Sir, it is audible, sir.
Fine. Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, unfortunately, Dr. Raja can't able to join the meeting.
Fine. Yes, sir. He told me. Yeah.
We will take it forward. So we'll start sharply at 6:35, sir.
Okay. Sure.
Totally around 75 people are registered. We expect at least 35 people to join first, and then people will join later. So we'll start at 6:35 first, sir. The flow will be like this. We'll be starting with the welcome address, and then a small introduction about you, and then you will be speaking directly, sir. Okay, so you can take 30 to 40 minutes on your PP and the response, and followed by Q&A and closing sessions, sir. Very simple.
Fine. Sure. Thanks.
Okay. Official. So any doubts, sir?
Nothing, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for
So,
calling me, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks. Friends, we'll be starting in at 6:35 sharp, friends. Please wait for a few more minutes. Thank you so much for joining. Maybe you can mute all.
अच्छा अच्छा, इसलिए होगा। मैं तो बाहर नहीं निकल रही हूँ ना, इसलिए कुछ आ गया सामने क्रॉस। हाँ हाँ। ओ ओ, क्यों? ओ, ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम।
Friends, thanks for joining. We'll be starting the meeting in another 2 minutes time at 6:35 sharp. Hello, friends. Thanks for joining for this wonderful meeting. Today, meeting is going to be a different kind of content which you never heard in the webinars. We have got a wonderful guest with us. So, thanks for joining, friends, on a rainy day at Chennai. We hope everywhere else the climate is like that. Anyhow, thank you so much. During the festive season, also we are seeing very good response for the knowledge sessions. We welcome Dr. Anbu Satyan, professor from Amity School. Thanks a lot for Dr. For the doctor to join this festive season. We are expecting a beautiful, wonderful lecture in this session. Now, friends, what is PRSI? Why we are conducting this session? PRSI means Public Relations Society of India, and PRSA has got nearly 23 chapters across India. More than 4,000 people are members are there. We are from Chennai chapter. Our chapter functions from 1969 onwards. It's one among the oldest chapter from Tamil Nadu. Here we have got 150 members. So we conduct 2 webinars every month and 1 offline meeting at Hotel Savera at Chennai. So students, lecturers, professors, and other members who are interested in joining as a member, they can contact us. A lot of professors from ISCOM department, students, and a lot of public sector companies and government sector companies, agencies, media houses are a member in our chapter. So it's mainly a knowledge chapter where we spread awareness about public relations, communication, advertising, media, and all. So this is a small intro about Public Relations Society of India. Now, over to Dr. Sridevi, our treasurer. Sridevi is working as an assistant professor in Viscom Department of Wales University. So Dr. Sridevi will introduce the chief guest of the day today. Over to Dr. Sridevi.
Hello.
Yes, doctor, you are audible. You can speak.
Sir, I have some network issue. Can you please give the intro, sir?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Doctor Anbu, Dr. Anbu. Hello. Doctor,
Hello.
are you audible? Doctor,
Yes.
you can introduce yourself as you like, and you can start the program, doctor.
Cool, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. Good afternoon, one and all joined here. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Doctor, very much, very much. You are
Oh,
audible.
okay, okay. So good afternoon again, one and all, for joining this session. And I really thank organizer for inviting me for this session. I am Mr. Anbu Satyan R. Actually, I currently studying PhD in Amity School of Communication, Haryana. I have around 12 years experience in film and TV production and around 7 years experience in teaching. After completing my film studies from Film and Television Institute of Tamil Nadu, Chennai, so I have worked in Tamil film industry and TV industry for 12 years. I have shot a lot of TV documentaries and daily shows, and I also worked few films. Um, this is my actually short bio. I would like to start, sir. Actually, then sharing my PPT. Is it visible? My PPT is visible, no? Is it
Yes,
visible?
doctor.
Fine, fine, fine. Okay. So again, today's topic is cinematic composition and techniques for visual storytelling. So actually, we are aware that what is composition and all. Like how this composition actually helps to enhance the storytelling is our today's topic. Yes. If you generally ask, what is composition in the sense, composition basically is there for in everywhere actually. Yeah. Hello. Yes. Okay. So composition, no, it is there for everywhere, no, when we actually okay. Okay. So when it is there, when we make rasam also, there is a composition, our mother, different people make rasam in a different composition. When we build a house also, there is a kind of composition, we decide different aspects of house in a different proportion. So it's like our personal taste involved in, any kind of composition in general. When we talk about, composition in making a frame or in visual elements, it is actually arranging the visual elements within the frame. When we talk about visual elements, what are the visual elements we have to arrange, which are people, object, landscape or background, light and shadow, which is also in the form of line, shapes, forms, color and the pattern. Whenever we start making a shot, there are certain process we have to go through it. I'm just sharing as a 6 point those process. So when we start making a shot, first thing we have to ask is the purpose of the shot. What is the purpose of the shot? Why we are making the shot? What kind of story it's going to tell, or what is the purpose of the shot in the whole as a story. Once we have decided the purpose of the shot, the second thing, we have to see what is the surrounding of the subject. Does it helps the story or dissolve the story? Once we decide once we see the surrounding, we have to see whether it is going to help the story or it is going to disturb the story. Third thing, when we framing our subject, we have to decide whether it will help, our subject will work with the minimum surrounding. If you think if our subject will work with the minimum surrounding, we have to use telephoto lens, or we have to go closer to our subject. Or if we think that our subject will work with the surroundings, so we have to use we have to use wide angle lens or go behind to include those surroundings. like once we have done this, once we have decided, whether if you are using the surrounding or we are only focusing on our subject, the next thing we have to see the four corners, actually, four corners of the frame. Whether it is we are actually creating with a pleasing way or it is disturbing. If you are cutting any object, even if you are cutting object, is it pleasing or it is good? Like that, we have to check. The sixth point is there any distraction within the frame? Like, though we have checked everything, within the frame, is there any distraction, whether we can able to improve that or not? That we have to check. That is the way to compose. The next thing we have to see is center of interest or point of interest. When we make the shot, as we discussed, it is important to understand the center of interest. One frame should have only one center of interest. Having more than one or having more than one or more than one center of interest will actually have a problem, because the audience will have a problem where to look at it. So it is important to have at least it is important to have only one center of interest. Then once we have decided our center of interest, next thing is where to place the center of interest, because our motto is to bring our audience attention to that center of interest. For that, there are certain elements are there we can able to use. One is that subject placement. We can able to place the subject at a particular point, or we can make a focus on that, or we can use light, color, contrast, these kind of elements we can use to get our audience attraction on our center of interest. So for the placement, we all know that, rule of third is the one of the important tool we can able to use. Rule of third is like, splitting the frame like this, like a 9 equal parts, or, 3 equal parts horizontally and vertically. By doing that, we get these 4 points. It is actually called the 4 golden points of composition. So normally we, to get our audience attention properly, we have to use either one of these points to place our center of interest. As you see in the picture, like, like if you think this eye is the center of interest, the cameraman have placed the one of the golden points. Apart from the point, we can also use the lines. If our subject is not just capable of fixing at any point, we can also use this 4 lines, like, horizontally 2 lines and vertically 2 lines are there. If you see any filmmaking, when you watch, most of them will follow this center of interest. So why we are using this center of interest? Because whenever we use this thing, our shot become more balanced. It is easy to interact with our audience. It is also helping to place our horizon. Whenever we compose this kind of natural shot, we can use this these lines, either top or bottom, to place our horizon. If you see in this picture, in this shot also, in the top shot, the cinematographer used that top line, and the bottom shot is around the bottom line. And again, it is not just kind of rule that we have to measure and fix our subject at that particular point. It is kind of a guide we can use. We can just place around that place. When we look at the frame, we can able to judge and place our main subject around that place. The next aspect in composition is balance. Like, we have talked about center of interest. If you see that, in our composition only, it is not only about center of interest, whatever the subject we are shooting. There are other elements also, part of our composition. So we have to balance it the way the other elements, it can able to give the visual balance. So there are two types of balance in composition. One is formal or symmetrical, you can call. The other one is informal or asymmetrical. Like when you have a formal symmetrical balance, what happens? Like both side have a equal, like in the top two pictures you can see both side will have a equal like it will look equally same. Then when you have this kind of thing, it will create a harmony or stability kind of feeling. When you have a informal balance, again it is actually the normal one. It is giving you a visual interest and create tension and dynamism. Then again we come back to the subject placement. Through placing the subject, through having a proper subject placement, we can have a narrative. We can actually we can able to suggest the, or you can have a subtext to our narration. If you see that in placement there are two main placements are there: left side placement or right side placement. If you're having a left side placement, it is actually what you can say that it's normally in our region we tends to read books from left to right. Okay, so when we read the book from left to right, from left we go fast and our eye ends at right side. So whatever the subject right side is there, will have a more we can have register, we can able to see more on the subject in the right side. So we can see that left side subject often as a weaker character, right side subject often a dominant or a stronger character. Then also there is a placement of foreground, background. Foreground, background, middle ground is there. Again, whenever the character is in foreground, we can able to connect that with dominant or powerful or emotionally central figure. Those who are in the backside can have a weak kind of feeling. They will have a less visual weightage. So that is also another thing. And again the center placement. So whenever center placement, again it is very less if you compare with the left side and the right side. Normally we place centrally, like God or kind of hero is character. Again, like whenever we place something, it is actually shows the kind of authority, power or dominance kind of feeling. And also it can express naturality and calmness. Then we talk about negative space. A negative space in the sense it is a like empty area in our frame, which helps us to draw attention on our subject. Whenever we see a lot of negative space, it is helps us to get quicker attention to our subject. It also helps to isolate our subject. And whenever we see this lot of negative space, it is also communicate the mood of the frame and context of the story. And it is also important to see the leading room. Whenever there is a walking shot or a running shot, we have to take care of this leading room. As you see in this top picture, the guy is walking from right to left, right to left. So there is a lot of lead room on the left side. So when you have this, a lot of negative space like dark area and all, we can also, create suspense or, uneasy kind of situation. Again, having a negative space behind the subject, giving the unbalanced composition, it is also create the visual tension. It will be also very less in filmmaking. Very rarely you can able to see such frames. One second. One second. Okay. Yeah. Whenever we have this lot of negative space, it actually makes the character feel small or vulnerable. The next thing we are going to say is composition elements. Once we we so far we have seen that how to place the subject. Right now we are going to talk about the composition elements. There are 4 composition elements are there: lines and shapes and masses and movement. If you see, it is not whenever we shoot image, it is not just subjects. It is actually made up of these lines, shapes, and masses. Arranging these pictorial elements actually can able to make a proper compositions. Okay. First thing, we are going to talk about lines. If you see that in our environment, there are a lot of lines. How we are going to include, including the lines is more important in to make the picture proper. Including lines actually, helps us to get the viewer's attention to our focal point. They also impact the mood of a shot depending on the type of line, how we, the type of line that we use. It is also impact the mood of our shot. Okay, so there are different types of lines are there: vertical lines, horizontal lines, diagonal lines, leading lines, and curved lines. Each lines gives a different kind of feeling in our storytelling. If you use horizontal lines, actually it is giving kind of peaceful or balanced feel. If you use vertical lines, it is also shows suggests strength, power, authority. It will help it will help us to make our subject more dominant. And curved lines, whenever we use curved lines, it is actually suggests softness and beautiful beauty and romantic scenes, the romantic feeling we can able to get. And diagonal lines suggest movement, tension, kind of feeling. Leading lines and converging lines. Again, you can able to see these lot of leading lines in the composition. It again, helps us to guide our viewers to our subject. We can able to get direct attention to our subject, as you see in the top 2 pictures. Again, converging lines, most of the you can able to see these in these 2 pictures, like how it is creating the perspective and depth. Then including the shapes and forms. Shapes is like 2-dimensional forms, and form is like when we see the 3rd dimension, it is actually called form in composition. In shape, there are 2 types of shapes: the geometrical shapes and the organic shapes. So including shapes again, create a interesting composition. Shapes, these lines, it is not necessarily to be a proper shapes. It can able to create through a it can be a imaginary shapes also. As you see in this picture, like in the top one, the left one, there is no actually triangle, but if you see that it is actually creating a triangle shape. So triangle, round, these are all geometrical shapes. Whenever you have a round or curved shapes, including thing, it actually giving a softness or calmness when you are including this, triangular shape, it suggests tension, conflict, or, instability. Again, you can use this vertical shapes and horizontal shape to create a different feeling. Like, horizontal, whenever you use horizontal shape, it is giving the sense of stability, as we saw that, or in horizontal lines. Then again, movement is another element in composition. Like including movement gives the different fields. Like, there are different movements are there in filmmaking. You can say the subject movement, camera movement is there. When the subject moves towards the camera, it is, it increases intensity or involvement. Moving away from the camera creates, a distance or emotional withdrawal, like parallel movements giving the dynamic energy to the subject. Then, whenever we see this camera movement, smooth camera movement, it maintains the visual continuity. When you have when you have this sudden camera movement, it is also giving the surprise and the tension kind of feeling. The next element is frame within frame or frame in frame. Again, you can able to see like a lot of things in, let's say these techniques used by a lot of filmmakers. Like, the frame which we already shooting, the another frame, within the frame, like, the window or doorway. By using that, we can able to get more attention on our subject. Through these techniques, we can able to create, depth, visual interest. We can able to, whenever you want to isolate the, subject from the environment, it is a good technique, and it is also giving kind of a secrecy or observation kind of feeling. If you see this in this mood, in the Mood for Love, the movie, the most of the shots have been used by Wong Kar-wai, uh, uh, by his frame in frame. Again, it is not necessarily to be a exact frame. It can be like kind of, a circle, or, as you see in the right side, it can be a frame can be created by a group of people. That kind of frame also can be used. Then, perspective. Again, using perspective is another, proper, good tool for a cinematographer. There are two kind of perspectives: the linear perspective and the aerial perspective. The way we create, the way we fix the camera, we can able to create the perspective as you see in the picture. And using patterns, repetition, and textures. Again, in filmmaking, we can able to try and use these kind of patterns to create subject more interesting. Again, when we use pattern, what happens? First of it is actually giving a visual, visually it looks good. And again, to get more attention to our subject, we can able to use this pattern. Again, when we talk about this storytelling, I thought of, for talking about this camera angles also, which is also help. It's a good tool for cinematographer. You know, to make the subject strong or, weak kind of feeling. There are, four camera angles are there: eye level angle, high angle, low angle, Dutch angles. When we place the camera, in the level of our subject's height, it is actually called the eye level angle. Whenever we use this kind of angle, what happens? We get the normal feel because we tends to see the world with our height only, isn't it? So whenever it is mostly used or normally used by any shot when we don't have to do something extra. It is as I told, it's a common angle, like for kind of romantic or comedy news casting kind of feeling that you in many cameramans will, or many shots will be used with this common high level angle. So eye level angle in the sense you're supposed to go to the subject's height, not the cameraman's height. Then low angle again, capturing the subject lower than the subject's height. Whenever we use low angle, what happens? It looks, makes the character very strong and dominant. Like whenever you again, it makes the subject more powerful when you use low angle. And again, whenever you are matching the perspective of some person, like, then again you can be able to use low angle. When you're showing some, building, you'll be using low angle. Then the next one is top angle or high angle. Like whenever we use this kind of camera angles, it makes subject too weak or frightened. Again, it is point of view of someone. If adult is looking young people, it is again acting as a point of view. If you can see this left one, like this is common kind of camera angles, high level, low angle. If you use the extreme top angle, it is actually called, it is also called bird's eye view. If you use the extreme low angle, it is also called the worm's eye view. The last one is actually Dutch angle. Dutch angle in the sense, instead of making our camera parallel to uh, uh, this keeping parallel, if you use the roll axis, we get this Dutch feel. It is also called the canted angle or oblique angle. So whenever we use this frame, it is actually kind of giving an imbalance frame. The audience suddenly alters. It alerts the audience. Actually, they will look. They get more alert than the normal thing. So they get more attention to the subject. Normally, we use this kind of angle with the kind of like the disturbed person, or whenever we want to use some kind of special composition, that time we use this Dutch angle. So like some kind of dangerous situation kind of thing. Okay, actually that's all about the storytelling. If you see that in composition there are a lot of elements are there. It is us that how we are going to combine and creating the composition. If you see that whatever the presentation I made, it is based on the book Five C's of Cinematography. So as per the composition, it is not necessarily that it is nothing is a strict rule that we have to follow these things, but it is actually a guide. We can just know this, and from this we can able to take it forward. Whatever, even if you want to break, we can able to understand this composition elements which are there for a lot of time. From this point, we can able to carry go ahead and break the composition, or how to use it. You can able to do some kind of what to say, an experiment, come up with a new idea of composition. Apart from this, there are a lot of other things also there, like types of types of shot or perspective, like wide angle, medium shot, close-up shot. Those shots also giving different kind of meaning. And again, lighting is there. With the different lighting is there. Different lighting will give a different meaning. Then color is there. So these are the things we have to, on lens type of, choice of lens is there. Also, these are the elements will actually affect the composition. Finally, there are one of my showreel is there, like around, I have shot this around 10 years back, when I was working in industry. I'm just showing this I've been working as a cinematographer, this in teaching for last 7 years, but this I have shot around 10 years before. I'm trying to show that, I'm trying to tell that it's been followed, like if you just know, that time I was not that much sure about, though I have studied 2, 3, some time, but still I have followed these rules even that time. I would like to say that I'm just playing this video actually.
வணக்கம் வணக்கம் எப்படி இருக்கீங்க நீங்க? ஒரு பக்கம் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. இடத்துல எல்லாம் பேசலாம் நடத்திட்டு இருந்தா கரெக்டா பண்ணிட்டீங்க. ஆமா 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 ராமுதான். ஆமா ஆமா ஆமா.
Thank you all for
வரக்கூடாது.
having listening for this much time.
ராமுன்னு யாரோ சொல்றாங்கன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தேன்.
Sir, thank you very much for a wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
So, friends, now the floor is open for questions. Whoever interested to ask questions, they can unmute and they can ask the questions.
அதுதான் இப்ப போட்டோவை பார்த்தோன்னு தோணுச்சு. இப்ப நான் எதுவும் சொல்லிக்கிறல. மகேந்திரன் ஒருத்தர் இருக்காரு. அவரு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டாருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அல்லது அவர் யார்ட்டாவது சொல்லி கேட்டாரா என்னன்னு தெரியல.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, can you tell us a bit about lighting the shots, like just on a beginner level, like someone who has no idea, what would you tell them about lighting, and what is correct lighting and what is incorrect, and what is good and bad lighting?
Okay. So basically, like, lighting, as we see that, uh, like, if you see that the 3-point lighting is just for begin, it is, helpful for the beginners. Like, uh, there are three aspects there in, like, what kind of lighting you are going to do, like, what is your subject is, very important. Lighting for the subject first is one is there, and lighting for the background, and lighting for the ambience. Like if you are just lighting for an interview, you have a very, like, let's say that, if I am sitting that this is a frame, you have the 3-point lighting, and the fourth point is the lighting for the background. So you can use key, fill, and backlight to separate the subject from the background. Then lighting for the background to make the background proper or make the background visible. This is for the simple lighting if you are making an interview kind. But if you're lighting for a scene that where the subject is walking and stuff, again you have to light according to that. Again it is same, but you have to see that where the subject is moving. According to that, you have to create the ambient light, and when you are creating an ambient light, you have to make sure that it is not, the background is not burning, and you have to make sure that wherever that subject is moving, the subject should get adequate face light. These are the things are there. If you are lighting your subject, if you are doing if you are using a like daylight or available light, again there is a different kind of procedure needs to be uh, followed.
Thank you, sir. So one more question. So you have showed some snippets, from your show reel.
Yes, yes.
So when you were working on those projects, so when you get a script and let's say you have to shoot a scene, so the composition part of it, how much of it is you and how much of it is the director, or does the director tell you everything in detail about the composition, or does he just tell you like, okay, this is the scene I want, and he lets you do the composition?
Okay. So actually it is like like whatever I have showed, it is mostly like a documentary kind of shoot, and there are some uh, short films also there. Like actually I'm from Chennai, that whoever I work with, they were given good freedom to me that choose the composition and all. Like mostly the directors actually say something composition when they have to do something with the story. Like let's say that in the background that some kind of character needs to be there, or in the background some kind of, in out of focus some character needs to be there. Some kind of, if there is a compulsion in story, that time only they actually interfere. But if you see in general, like if you that in The Mood for Love and all, Wonka Wai and Christopher Doyle, if you see that interview and all, they actually go to the no, they actually travel to the location many times before they shoot. Actually, in such cases, they actually take pictures. They actually do a the diagrams and all properly, and they actually they come up with the proper composition and all before they shoot only. So according to me, it is mostly the director medium. Actually, if you see that good directors, actually, the good directors movies always will have a good composition. But according to my pictures, all of them, most of them I have done by myself.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Sir.
Friends, any more questions?
So one more thing, since we are talking about composition, so just can you go through a bit? Can you go through the topic of lenses, like basic lenses, and any tips for like smartphone filmmaking and all, like cameras that we have at our disposal right now, if we don't if we are not using professional cameras right away.
Okay. Okay. So lens again, uh, there are, mainly we can differentiate lens in three. There are three different lenses are there in filmmaking. One is wide angle lens, a normal lens, and the telephoto lens. You can just differentiate them this way. And there are other differentiation also, like block lens or tele lens and all. Sorry, zoom lens and all. If you take this wide angle, normal, and telephoto lens, wide angle lens will have more angle of coverage, will have more depth also. So whenever we want to show a vast region and include want to have more depth, you can use a wide angle lens. And normal lens is why it is called normal lens means because it is matching our human's eyes perspective. That's why it is actually called normal lens. Normally for 35 mm, 50 mm lens is actually called normal lens. Like Satyajit Ray, like normally we say like whenever we talk about normal lens, Satyajit Ray used to 50 mm for his whole movie of Fateh Panjali to show that normal feeling or when he is subject itself about a life of normal people. So he used this normal lens because normal lens will not have any kind of distortion while you're comparing with the wide angle lens. Then the telephoto lens, whenever you use telephoto lens, will have a shallow depth of field first. We can able to it is actually narrow angle. We can able to separate our subject from the surroundings. These are the lens actually. This is how normally cinematographer use lenses. Normally, if you see that close-up shots, we all use telephoto lens. Again, it is not just always true. Many people use wide angle lens also for close-up. That's like this is how you actually have to see like what kind of again deciding the proper lens is again it's a choice made by the mostly the cinematographer. You can use like for close-up you can use telephoto lens also, wide angle lens also. Like there should be a need, like there should be some kind of uh, like how you are going to show is also very important in deciding the lens. For using mobile phone, again it is mostly when you are using the mobile phone, it is of a wide angle lens. When we are using a mobile phone and all, like we have to see like again there are shallow depth of field also we can able to create. Like when you are using a wide mobile phone, we will be always using the wide angle lens. So that is the one drawback. Many people used uh, wide angle lens and still they made good movies. That is all about that using mobile phone. There is it is about how you are placing the camera. Placement of the camera is more important because it is again depends upon what kind of mobile phone you are using. If that mobile phone has any kind of like whether you can able to use telephoto setup over there, setting over there is also matter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Doctor, there are some questions in the chat box. Can you
Okay.
answer to that?
Let me check. I'll just close this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please send it.
Want to do ad reels, so how should I do this? The video is vertical plane. Okay. So
Your voice is very feeble, sir. Koncha satam, konja,
Okay.
a little sound. Yeah.
Yes. So
Hmm.
again, the vertical framing is again, you have a less space in vertical framing and all, but still you can use a lot of these elements like lines or forms or this kind of what is this like frame in frame. And again, you can use the place. If you see that, what is that? Rule of third also. Even it is same in the vertical also. You can still, divide them, like a three, like the way I showed them as a 9 part. You can try to place them at one of those golden points. Like, we can follow all this, whatever we discussed about this composition element, even for the vertical format. The next question is lensing can change the compositional statement in a frame. Okay. Of course, lens affects the composition, the kind of lens you use, and, it is actually changing the depth. If you use a wide angle lens, what happens? It is, the distance between the subject increases. When you use the telephoto lens, the distance between the subject actually decreases. So, of course, that, lens will affect the composition. So you have to see, like, what kind of story, like what kind of message you are going to tell. According to that, you have to use the lens. Okay. Oh, okay, sir. Thanks. What best way to do editing in which software shall we follow trends and to create one? Okay, at least software you can check, like, there are online you can check. Normally, uh, uh, I use this Premiere Pro and all. If you can able to buy, because Premiere Pro is nowadays you can able to rent for a month or 2 month, like, you can able to rent Premiere Pro and use it. There are, you know good setup, and also for free there are a lot of free versions also there. You can check online and use it. But it is, or part of the software, it is quite same, that you have to like use same kind of techniques to edit in any kind of software. We can use golden ratio in cinematic composition. Like, I don't understand this course. Of course, like, we can use golden ratio in any kind of composition, because that frame is, the frame, that aspect ratio is getting changed, every time. Like, in previously we were using 1:1.33, and 1:1.66, 1:1.75, and 1:1.85. And nowadays, 1:2.35, 1:2.55. Like, it is kept on changing actually, but this rules remains same. You can use these kind of the rules for any kind of uh, frame. Mentally unable, unstable, and self-doubted character. Which framing we? Okay, that's what, like, we talked about this. What is that? Dutch angle. So if you see, even I put one picture of a picture from Birds, that Hitchcock movie. So in that movie, if you see that that lady had been hunted by lots of birds, and it was during climax. She don't know. She actually don't know, like, she could not do what to, like, she's feeling like what to do kind of thing, like, and she was just like, she could not escape from the birds. Like, wherever she goes, that birds are trying to hunt her. So that was her, like, she was in horrible situation. So you can see that kind of Dutch angle Hitchcock used. So if you see, most of the time that this kind of situation you can use, like, Dutch angle also can be used for this thing, for the mentally unstable, self-developed character.
Friends, any other questions? Shall we close? Okay. Thank you, sir, for Anbu Satyan sir. It's a wonderful lecture. It's the first time we are hearing on this topic. We have conducted so far at least 25 plus webinars. It's a wonderful topic, very niche topic. I hope the beneficiaries, the participants would have benefited more. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time, sir. Thank you very much. Friends, we are now going to post the feedback form. So you can fill the feedback form. You will be getting the certificate, e-certificates in another 1 week's time. Okay, so thank you so much for joining. Already, the sir's phone number, email is mentioned. So who are interested, they can directly get in touch with Anbu Satyan, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for a
thank you.
wonderful session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me also, and thanks for the participant. Like listening for this much time and asking questions and all. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. You can leave. Friends, we are posting the feedback form now. You can fill the feedback form and send it across to us. So you will be getting the year certificate within a week's time. Thank you very much for joining. Okay. Friends, we'll be closing the session in another 3 or 4 minutes. Please fill the feedback form. Time is 7:30. We'll be closing the session by 7:35. So please fill the feedback form. Friends, we'll be closing the session at 7:35. Please fill the feedback form soon. Friends, 1 more minute to go. Please fill the feedback form. Friends, we hope you have completed the feedback form. You'll be getting the certificate within a week's time. Thank you very much for joining the event. We are closing the session. Thank you.